Peace, love, and divine light. Coming on here to share a message with you. A message that I was thinking I was going to do a live on, and for whatever reason, um, it didn't happen that way. And I think it was supposed to be that way. And this message is in regards to financial. It's connected to finances. Okay, it's connected to finances, the current state of financial affairs and whatever it is that you want to call it. And this is on an individual level as well as like an international level. I do believe that there are people that have been experiencing a lot of some sort of like economic crisis for some time, and regardless of where you are at in the world today, there's some sort of like economic crisis, and it's becoming a lot more prevalent. Why am I sharing this? I'm sharing this because there is definitely a game being played. A game that's being played where I feel like there are people that kind of have an idea. Actually, there are people that knew exactly where the ball was. It may even be that the people who were in control of the ball were putting themselves, or they put themselves in positions where they were a lot more prepared than others. And then you have folks that that have been watching almost like a movie, almost seem as if like they know what's going on, yet there's no preparation that's being done. And some of it is it's no fault of their own. It's not their fault, because whatever game is being played is being played to put them in a position where they're not really in a position to do too much. And this is where I want to start this message, that there are, whatever game is being played to put the world in the economic situation that it is, there are specific people, there are specific groups of people that are meant to have, and there are groups of people that are meant to feel restricted, so much so that their choices are limited. And we know that when we get to the point where our choices are limited, what that means. Many of us don't want to admit it. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to say that is the case. We're getting to the point where a lot of our choices are becoming a lot more limited. And even though some of us do not want to talk about it, but that kind of sounds like captivity, don't you think? Or some form of it, or a different form of it. And that's the direction that I'm seeing things move. It's getting to the point, okay, where your choices are supposed to be limited. You're supposed to have very little to no choices. And this is where the battle is, y'all. When your choices are restricted, it will feel, or it may feel like your back is against the wall. And for the most part, many of you are supposed to feel that way in order for you to make certain decisions. Be mindful, though, that those decisions are meant to compromise you. Okay? Those decisions will compromise you. And what am I talking about? Not all money is clean money. And this is the message that I received. Not all money is clean money. And the opportunities that are being afforded to you at this time, I would say to be very cautious about those opportunities. While you do have very powerful spirit guides that are guiding your walk, also know that there's a game being played, and you are looked upon as a piece in the puzzle or a piece on whatever game board that exists. Okay? And the choices that you make, okay, we're going back to that choice again. The choices that you make will either put you in a position where you have more choices, or it's going to put you in a position where you have very little to no choices. So the choices that you make at this time is very crucial. It's important. The choices that you make in terms of where your money comes from, who your money comes from, who you choose to collaborate with, who you choose to do business with. Because all of those places, those sources have some energy that they're connected to. And even though we'd like to think that, all money is money, all money is not clean money. Okay, all money is not clean money. There's some source or something, some ideology that it's connected to. So whoever it is that you choose to do business with, that you choose to collaborate with, that you choose, or however it is that you choose to gain your financial freedom, however it is you plan to gain your financial freedom, keep in mind that it's connected to something. Okay? It's connected to something. And the more involved, the more in depth that you get, I almost feel like the deeper, it's almost like the deeper it goes, or the deeper, I almost want to say the deeper you go to the rabbit hole. And I know that many of you will connect with this message, because many of you right now may feel like you are being put in a position where your choices are limited economically. Okay, like it almost feels like you may feel like you have no choice economically. Like it almost seems like you may get the inclination that it's okay to do anything. And I was watching some kind of I was watching a show the other day regarding this young man, that it was like a dating show, and someone came on the show looking for a date, and the only thing that this young man cared about was whether or not this guy had money. Okay. He didn't want to know any questions. He didn't want to know what the ideology of the person was about, what their values were, if they had morals. Like, he could care less. He's like, listen, do you have money? Okay, that's all that matters. And it almost is giving the vibe of, okay, like this person is literally willing to sell their soul for the dollar, for the highest bidder. And I feel like this is the position that many of you, especially the chosen, are being put in a position where your back is supposed to be against the wall, to where you feel like you have very little to no choices, and you compromise your morals, you compromise your values. This is not the time to compromise on your morals and your values. More than ever, this is the time for the chosen to connect with their spirituality and know that whatever it is, whatever the agenda is that's being sold, spirit is much stronger. Mother Nature is much stronger. Okay? Mother Nature is rich and abundant and able to provide whatever it is that you need. And before you agree to that contract, before you agree to whatever it is that's whatever that contract is, just remember, like, is it worth selling your soul? Is it worth, like, really, the lifetime that you have worked to get to where you are? There is an end goal, and you are going to get there. And it's important that we don't lose sight of that goal. We don't lose sight of where it is that we are working to go. We are trying to get to. Okay? Mother Nature is on your side. Your spirit guides are on your side. You are not going to lose this, you're not going to lose this battle. And it's important that we as chosen do not allow material gains to disrupt us on our path. And this is what this show that I was watching reminded me of. Like, this young man who was wanting to choose, this person. Okay, again, this dating show. The only thing that he cared about was whether or not he had money. He didn't ask any questions. He wasn't wanting to ask questions. It's the show, along with just a bunch of different things that I've been seeing that appear to be patterns. And also I'm also receiving this message from Spirit to stay vigilant, stay focused on your goals, stay focused on Spirit, and know that you are moving in a direction where you are meant to win. And it's important that you don't compromise those values that you have worked so hard to get to this point. Okay? And just remember, not all money is clean money. It's attached to something. It's attached to some agenda. And we get to be very cautious about that. Ask the guidance of your spirit guides, because they're going to reveal to you what steps that you are meant to take next. And know that you are divinely provided for regardless of the situation. Peace, love, and divine light.